In 2025, the unthinkable happened. Jake Paul, the YouTube sensation turned boxer, faced none other than the legendary Mike Tyson. This was a matchup that shocked the world, and one that nobody saw coming. Jake Paul, a polarizing figure in the world of boxing, went head-to-head with one of the greatest boxers of all time. How did this wild fight unfold, and what made it the most talked-about event on the internet? Let's take a closer look. Jake Paul didn't just rise to fame as a YouTuber. His ambition led him into the world of boxing, where he started winning and earning more respect with each fight. He's faced controversial opponents, but when news broke that he was fighting Mike Tyson, things took a turn into the unbelievable. Was this the fight that would define Jake's boxing career? Or would Tyson, the feared former heavyweight champion, prove that Jake wasn't over his head? Mike Tyson, the name that makes every fighter pause. A former world champion, Tyson dominated the ring in his prime with brutal power and an iron will. After a few years out of the limelight, Tyson made a surprise return to the ring for exhibition matches, and when the chance to face Jake Paul came up, Tyson didn't hesitate. Despite being in his late 50s, Tyson's name still sent shockwaves through the world of boxing. This fight, though, was like no other. The press conference was filled with tension. Jake Paul, always brash and confident, taunted Tyson. He mocked Tyson's age and talked big about his own boxing skills. Tyson, cool and collected, didn't respond with insults. Instead, he simply said, "I'll let my fists do the talking." The stage was set for the most anticipated fight of the year. Jake Paul didn't take this fight lightly. He trained like never before, honing his skills, improving his footwork, and focusing on his cardio. His first few wins were seen by many as flukes, but this was different. A fight against Mike Tyson wasn't about hype, it was about survival. Jake was determined to prove that he belonged in the ring with the best. On the other side of the ring, Mike Tyson was preparing just as seriously. Despite his age, Tyson's training was fierce. With a reputation built on lightning-fast punches and ferocious intensity, Tyson wasn't going to let Jake Paul's antics derail his comeback. Tyson was ready to remind the world just who he was. The fight night arrived, and the atmosphere was electric. Fans filled the arena, some cheering for Jake Paul, others hoping to see Tyson reclaim his dominance. The internet was buzzing and social media exploded with predictions, memes, and discussions, but no one knew what was coming next. As the bell rang, the two fighters met in the middle of the ring. Tyson came out strong, landing powerful jabs that seemed to shake Jake, but Jake wasn't backing down. He dodged and countered, holding his ground. Tyson's punches were fierce, but Jake's defense was sharp. Round 1 set the stage for what would become an unforgettable fight. Round 2 was where things got interesting. Jake Paul, now more confident, began landing some clean shots. Tyson, who had been dominant in the first round, looked a bit more cautious. Was the fight starting to turn in Jake's favor? The crowd was on edge, waiting to see if Jake could truly go the distance against the legendary Tyson. As the rounds wore on, it was clear that both fighters were feeling the pressure. Tyson, although powerful, started showing signs of age. Meanwhile, Jake Paul, the younger fighter, was proving that his stamina could match Tyson's pace. Every punch mattered now. This wasn't just a fight. It was a battle for survival. In the final round, with both fighters visibly tired, Jake Paul saw his opening. Tyson, perhaps fatigued from the previous rounds, left himself exposed. Jake didn't hesitate. He unleashed a powerful left hook that landed cleanly on Tyson's jaw. The crowd gasped, Tyson staggered, and for a moment, it seemed like Jake Paul might have done the impossible. The bell rang, and the moment everyone had been waiting for arrived, the judge's decision. Jake Paul had won. In one of the biggest upsets in boxing history, Jake Paul defeated Mike Tyson, the legendary champion. The internet went wild. Fans and critics alike were in shock. Jake Paul, the YouTuber turned boxer, had just beaten one of the greatest fighters of all time. Social media exploded. Fans flooded Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube with their reactions. Some were in disbelief, while others praised Jake for his courage and determination. Critics who had once called him a joke were now forced to admit that Jake had proved himself. Whether you liked him or not, Jake Paul had just earned a spot in boxing history. This victory marked a turning point for Jake Paul. No longer just a controversial figure, Jake Paul had officially cemented his place in the world of boxing. Whether you agree with him or not, he had done what so many thought was impossible. He defeated Mike Tyson. So, what's next for Jake Paul? Will he continue to climb the ranks of boxing, or will this victory be his crowning achievement? Only time will tell, but one thing's for sure, Jake Paul has changed the game forever. What do you think? Was Jake Paul's victory over Mike Tyson the ultimate upset, or was it just a fluke? Drop your thoughts in the comments below, like this video, and subscribe for more shocking stories and exclusive content.